Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today with this lovely cold I have. We are going to be making this notebook cover, kind of like a gift ensemble from Latte Love Suite collection. That's part of our online exclusives that will be available to you on February 5th, and that is what it looks like. You get the stamp set, the dies, those cute little swirl embellishments on the left, and then the designer series paper is just wow, you're going to love it. Great colors in this sweet collection of petal pink. I'll get back to that in a minute. A ton of standalone dies here, and I'm going to show you how to put together those that's on the cover of the notebook pad later on as this video goes. And a lot of the dies too, they cut out the designer series paper. That coffee cup top is one of them. The beans is another one, and you'll also be seeing that on the top. So as we're going through the designer series paper, great patterns, colors, but back to the sweet collection colors. Petal pink, calypso coral, lemon lolly, lost lagoon. You can die cut those beans out from one of the die cuts. Pecan pie and early espresso. And that's another, the lemon lolly cup there, you can cut that out from another one of our dies. I like this paper pack because there's a lot of swirls in there. I'm a huge fan of splashes like you see there with it early espresso and pecan pie mixed up. And then Lost Lagoon is thrown in there along with Calypso Coral and Lemon Lolly. And that's just great color combination that you can try like without all the coffee stuff. So there we have like little latte hearts, and everyone needs a good coffee collection like this, in their stash. And then we have beans at the very end there in Calypso Coral. So good colors, bright colors. And along with that comes the ribbon. So this is like a 5-piece sweet collection. And you can pull it at the top there and fray it if you want. And then those little swirl dot backed adhesives, they're in petal pink pecan pie. And at the top, there's like kind of a creamy, whitey, more cream, vanilla colored. And the swirls are the same as in the designer series paper that's in the dots. So I made this for my girlfriend Krista. She is all about her bold and her bling. And it was for Valentine's Day last week. And I just did a card in there, for her. And I did that making the Simply Xenia Suite collection that's also coming out on the 5th of March. That is another new online exclusive product. So there we got the pocket. And then I think it's like a 5x7, 5x8, I think, 5x8 pad. And I just picked that up and put together the little to-do list and the paper clip for her. And now we are going to move on to making our notebook cover. So that is a piece of 8.5 by 11 Lost Lagoon cardstock, and that is going to be our pocket for the inside, and that measures 6.5 by 4 3/4. So we're going to go through scoring it real quick, and I have it slowed, well, it's normal speed here, so it might get kind of weird, but I grabbed my Simply Score tool, and you want to pop your cardstock in where the 8.5, or no, I'm sorry, the 11-inch side is at the very top there, like you see, and 2 simple scores, and it's going to be at 5 1/4 there, and then your second score mark is going to be at 5 3/4 there. For the inside pocket, you want to put the 6.5-inch side at the very top, as you see there. And then we are going to do 4 score marks. First one's going to be over on the left at 1/2 inch, and then your second one is going to be at 3/4, and then you have one at 5 3/4, and then another one at 6. Then you want to flip it to the 4 3/4 side and score that at 1/2, as you see there, and at 3/4. Now, as you note, I am not creasing my score lines, doing anything like that. I did score on the wrong side, and I'll fix that for you. It's fixed in the measurements, and I'm going to reference that throughout because it was too late for me to fix it, and I just, kept on going. So at that bottom square you saw me point out there, you want to miter in on both sides and just knock that square all the way out like you see. So I'm going to go back in there on the other side and cut that square out as well. And that is what we are looking like. So to start putting this together a little bit, I'm going to speed it up, and I'm bringing back in our cover. And that is a piece of 12 by 12 designer series paper. And I want everything to flow across, kind of like what my hand said a minute ago. And I'm going to cut that at 8.5 because you want to watch how your pattern is going to go. And I know that our panel is going to be 8.5 down. I did it 8 1/4 because it is 8.5. And then the first one is going to measure 5 by 8 1/4. So like I said, cut it 8 1/4 across. And then the next one is going to be 5/16 by 8 1/4. And the 16th mark is like the first teeny tiny tick right after the quarter. Or you can just keep it easy on yourself and make it a 1/4 inch. And then for the right cut, we're going to go back to 5 and 8 1/4 by that. And that's why I just cut the whole thing down to 8 1/4 to begin with, so I'm not messing with both sides. And now I'm going to bring in our pocket there, and I don't have to cut that. That was left over from the piece I just did cut. And this is where my scoring is going to come in all wonky, but again, the measurements are right. I just scored wrong. So I had to make one cut with that. That is going to measure 4 3/4 by 5. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. Something's wrong here. It's not right. And I'm pulling out everything there and showing you how we're going to make the top of our notepad there and then the insert. Because I'm trying to buy time a little bit, realizing, hey, you just kind of completely blew your score lines. And I thought that coffee pattern with the very busy patterns I've chosen so far, the little coffee cup pattern at the top, would look really super cute. So the DSP part of that is going to be 5 inches across by 3/4. And then I'm going to go back, or not go back. After this, I'm going to pull in a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock, and that's going to measure 5 across by 2. And I'm going to score it at 1 inch because I know at 1 inch that's going to be easy fold over for me. And I don't put a score line anywhere else. What I pretty much do is kind of lip it over the top there, fold it a little bit, give myself, a good crease line that way, and then fold it with my fingers and take a bone folder to just get that line in there. So that is how I do that. And then we're just going to pop on that little coffee cup piece with liquid adhesive in a minute because I can't see ahead what I'm doing. So for the inside, I'm choosing that Lost Lagoon cardstock, and that is going to be 4 3/4 across by 5. So I'm just measuring all that right now, and I wanted the lines to go more vertical than horizontal because I like kind of mixing it up like that a little bit, if you can even call it that. So right now, I'm going to speed this up really quick, and you can watch me just get all this glue down. So I'm using liquid adhesive. You could go with tear and tape, snail. It was just easier for me to do that in the video. For the center on my original, I used tear and tape. It was much easier than like trying to do that and But the liquid adhesive, it does give you a lot more wiggle room, and sometimes the larger pieces of DSP, I like that. So I just got everything down there, and again, that's what we are looking like. And I'm doing the same thing for the inside pocket, and you can see where my score lines are wonky. On the left compared to the right, the one on the right where it's thinner of a 1/4 inch, that is the right one. So I'm zooming in, flipped it over, and I don't know why I'm doing this, but it worked out for some reason. I'm taking a little teeny tiny piece of tear and tape, but for me it's cut and tape because I'm neurotic like that. And I'm cutting that off, and I'm starting to crease a little bit. But where I am putting the tear and tape adhesive, they're absolutely the right places you do want them to be. And I do remember looking at this thinking, how am I going to get myself out of this one? I'm just going to have to wing it and keep on going. And so my DSP is a little bit too long there because my score is wrong. So I took some paper snips and just shaved a little bit of that off without, nicking into the side of it. Bringing everything back in, and now I am going to score. A lot of people like to have their score lines set before they do anything. I see better if I don't mess with it. And I think everything's straighter to me if I don't do that. And clear as mud. So anyhow, I'm getting everything quadrupled, doubled, you know, scoring more and more and more just to make it more scory. Because I'm trying to figure out, how do I fix this? You know what I did. So with that side right there, where it's thinner, of a 1/4 inch, it hooked right up super, super easy and not an issue. This one, where it's obviously more than a 1/4 inch, it's like, what have I done? How am I going to fix this? And I had to take it off screen like 5 minutes later. Came back, so we're going to get that in there. And I had to shave down our DSP just a teeny tiny bit to fit in there because that score line thing. Take the bone folder, use that to get that adhesive nice and secure in there. And when I do voiceovers, I talk with my hands. But I talk with my hands when I do the video, which is like a really bad thing. So I try to make it match, but it never turns out. Put some adhesive on the back of that, and then just slip it in there so it goes up to maybe within a 1/4 inch or so of the top, as you can see. Use that bone folder again to get the adhesive on there nice and secure. And so far, so good. That is what we're looking like. I'm bringing in the paper clip, just showing you that. Now this here, I did slow down. These are the standalone die cuts in Latte Love. And you can build espresso machines without coffee pots, whatever you want to do. And I'm laying everything out for you how I'm going to use it. So those two, they're like the clear part of the pots. And I'm going to cut them out of window sheets. And with all the cardstock that I'm using, that's early espresso, pecan pie, and that is copper foil. I wish I'd used gold, but I just grabbed copper. And again, adhesive sheets on all the cardstock, but not for the window sheet, because we're going to need that to put all this together. So I ran it through the stamp cut and emboss machine, ran it back and forth a couple times because, that adhesive sheet. And see that little notchy thingy, whatever, on the left? When I put it together, you'll see the position I want to put that in, but that's where the coffee is going to pour out of. So I sped this up super quick because all I'm going to do is just basically poke all of our die cut pieces out of how we cut it and show you how all this puts together. So there we have it right there, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit just to put it all together for you. So I used adhesive back sheets on the dies because it's so much easier to put together rather than using liquid adhesive that once you get it on your window sheet, it's just kind of a hot mess to deal with and clean up. And it was just, like I said, much easier. So you can see that little notch at the right there. that's kind of there. You can see it better there. That is where you want to put it that way because you pick up the handle on the left to pour it out, and it's just, put it together the right way kind of thing. And it helps you too with that little, well, the top of the pot. I'm rambling now. So I am pulling off our coffee piece, and I'm kind of sizing up, okay, where do I want to put that? And I'm going to sneak it in underneath there real quick. And then since the foil has adhesive on it, it just goes right over it. And I'm using my silicone craft mat because that way I'm going to have some parts of that coffee pot, I'm going to call it that, that's going to hang over the window sheet and down. So it's going to be the top of it, the left, and then where the legs are. And it won't stick to the adhesive sheet. Not the adhesive sheet, but that silicone craft sheet. And so when I do that kind of stuff, you want to bring that in. It's just mess free. So I'm bringing in the other coffee pot now, doing the exact same thing, laying down my little coffee piece. That's more the coffee pot. I don't know what that big thing is called. I mean, I just do a Keurig, keep it simple. And I'm going to lay that one down. And we are going to do the same thing with this piece. It's like the handle, and I don't know if that other, I didn't Google it to let you know, but obviously the handle goes on the left. And when you lay that down, the piece that goes across the coffee pot, that's going to automatically line up with the coffee pot. So that way you know where your handle is and everything worked out. And I'm just going to add the top back to that, or, add it on. And those are going to be our two front pieces. So moving along now, this is going to be my mat that holds the coffee embellishments that we just did. I'm bringing an old tearing age because I wanted to tear the top and bottom. That is going to measure 5 inches across on the edge that you see me tearing. I'm not too concerned about the other measurement because I'm going to tear that anyway after I get the designer series paper down, but you do want it 5 inches across like you're seeing right there. I'm going to go ahead and put that down with some seal because it's just easier. And I'm careful about the liquid glue part because if you use too much, sometimes it can bulk up on you. So when you use it, go light, but it does work and it seals great. So I'm laying down this, the seal adhesive, and then chucking that out. It looks good. I'm going to bring back in that tearing edge. And like I said, you can use your nails. I'm not trashing this manicure. So that's why I brought that in. Just ripped it all the way down. Super simple. And we are making progress. So I think right now I'm just going to kind of figure out where everything is going to go. And remember, I still have all that adhesive left over. The only place where I really need to put it is on the back of that early espresso piece. And I'm bringing in our little coffee pot and do the same thing. Add more adhesive to that. Get it arranged on there. And then I'm thinking, okay, there's not enough here. What do I want to do? Do I want to add another cup? No, too big. The scale's off. And I thought, okay, let's do some little coffee cups and some beans. And that little die cut there, it cuts out, let's say, a fake liquid or whatever. So I got all that together, figure out the colors I wanted to pick, put tear and tape on the back of our mat there. And so I cut those little pieces out of, that was designer series paper, petal pink, and then crumb cake. Now, crumb cake is not in the sweet collection at all, but you can mix and match and combine. It works. So somehow I lost a big chunk of video. You didn't miss anything. Oh God! Except for me adhering the coffee cups. So I'm laying our mat down at the front there, and we're pretty much into the home stretch now. Only another, 7 or so minutes, or actually 2 or 3 with this, because I'm going to show you some other projects as well. So I have everything planned out for our notepad there. Tear and tape for some reason with that brand and just the texture of it's very vinyl-y. Did not adhere. It kept popping up, so that's why I tore that off. And I already put tear and tape on the back of our little lip there that we're going to put over that. And I forgot to take off the adhesive I already had on the back of the notepad at the top there, but it worked out, as you'll see in the long run. So I'm getting that all sized up there. And even with that second score line, it didn't work. So once it's like, okay, yeah, I forgot that, I've got to lay that other piece of tear and tape across the top there. So now I'm just going to pull, get the adhesive down and pull those pieces off and then get that adhered down to the notepad. I mean, believe it or not, this may look complicated, like too much work or whatever. It really is not. You could even mass produce this if you wanted to on a rainy afternoon or, stormy, whatever. Use any of our products that we have on board. You can make it as complicated as you like or as simple as you like. Doll it up. And at the end of this video, I'm bringing Chris's example back in, but also I mean several of these for Thanksgiving, and I gave all of them away, as gifts, but one of them. So I'm just making sure that everything's, down adhesive wise and looking good. You know what? You can also get like a Pentax pen, the clear ones, and I had it right next to me when I'm doing this video, by the way, but I just never got around to it. So our paperclip, jumbo paperclip, any office supply store. I cut that is the die that cuts the designer series paper out. So I cut the lemon lolly one and Calypso Coral, and then two of the same thing from Lost Lagoon cardstock. You're going to be grabbing that paper clip a lot. I wanted it to be super, super sturdy so it can take abuse. And now I'm just adhering all of that together. And that's a super cute little accent. You can wrap, ribbon around it, add embellishments to it. But I'm just keeping this simple so you get the general premise and idea of what you can do, but more importantly, the measurements that you need. So I thought, well, why not? I'm bringing in another online exclusive of our glimmer paper, and that is Petal Pink. I have adhesive sheets on the back of that. And then I used our Bee Builder Punch that's in the spring catalog to, put some hearts in there because you got to do it. And to capitalize on that color a little bit more. And, that really kind of would have been cute, I think, but at the same time, it's like, maybe a little bit too much. But now, a day or two later, it's like, yeah, that would have been cute. So I'm figuring out what to do with those, the back and that other heart, and I end up plopping that down or adhering that down somewhere. Yeah, too many hearts on the front. That's why I didn't do it with that designer series paper. Right down there. So that we have like two other things. I'm going to grab some of that ribbon. That is not easy to work with because it is very, well, ropish. And tie that like into just kind of, a knot at the side there. No bow because it's not easy to work with. And I'm going to leave it kind of sloppy because I do need to move on and it's getting, I said 45 minutes, but really it's a half hour because it's really hard for me to talk that long without anybody talking back. And that's why I speed things up. But a lot of people don't like that. And I've had input about that. So I'm trying to make everybody happy. I thought I was going to do the pecan pie. And it's like, no, 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 no. Let's bring it a little bit more neutral here. So those are those cute little adhesive back swirls, kind of in like that vanilla-y color. And that is what we are looking like for that. This folder is done, except for not trimming up the ribbon, which, in the pictures you'll see it. And really, really, really that simple. Anybody can do it. And that's the one I made for Christmas. I wouldn't say I got more detailed on that, but with the inside pad that you see there, and I have like the to-do list, I stamped every single one of those with a sentiment. I mean, we're talking 3 minutes at the most. It was just something to do, and fun and very, very detailed. So this is what we are doing next week. If you don't have the birthday sparkle kit, grab it. We're going to be doing all four of those projects on the top and doing some alternatives as well. So in that kit, very inexpensive glue dots, and then you always get a block with your kits. And this one is crumb cake, early espresso. You get like those little toothpicky sticks, a stamp set, Stampin' Dimensionals. I mean, everything you need to make that is in this kit, even down to the adhesive. So you literally have to bring nothing in. And then we have some card friends there and some gold glimmer, gold foil embellishments, gold foil and crumb cake, more card friends. And you can make like four each or three each of four designs. I'm going to do one each of every design, gold foil envelopes. I mean, there's a lot in there. And then we'll do our alternatives and still have a ton of product left over. So what I'm going to bring in to supplement that kit is from the spring catalog, and that is called Hooray for Surprises. It's a photopolymer stamp set. It's also very birthday oriented, and it has coordinating die cuts as well. A lot of standalones too that you can see. Lots of fun. I haven't even cracked that one open yet, but I thought, hey, why not? Let's go ahead and do that. So that's a sneak peek into next week. I'm thinking maybe paper pumpkin alternatives. Let me know what you want. Once a week videos, that's all I'm going to have. Tell me what you want me to do, and I'll pull it off. So there's all three of those notebooks I've done, different occasions, seasons, everything. And thank you so much for spending all this time you did with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great day.